Howdy friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Luke, and today we're doing a little repot with me, so stay tuned for more. Today we're going to be doing a little repot with me. I have some leca and some cuttings that need to be potted up. So figure we'll do a little catch up, a little you and me, how's it going, how's the family, you know, all that. Before we kind of get into everything, I'm going to show you kind of what we have to repot today. So first up are these Brazil leaves that have gone way too long. They're starting to yellow a little bit, but I have this jar here, or bottle thing. I have these as well. I don't know, we're just gonna kind of jump into it and see what we come up with here. I cut these a while back. I had a Brazil. It was a small Brazil. I got it when it was really small, but it was growing just like these really long tendrils and it wasn't very bushy. So this is my attempt to make it a little bushier. So let's just kind of start here. I have my leca, which I've pre-soaked. So put a little bit of that in the bottom. Also, leca noises, I know, not as quiet as dirt, so I apologize. Change it on the fly here. So these Brazils are actually quite nice. A lot of these were like newer cuttings or like newer growth. These ones are a bit more established, so I'm just gonna kind of jump right in here. Oh, look at those nice roots. So I'm just gonna start by kind of just plopping these right in. They've kind of formed to the outside of that jar, unfortunately, so I'm probably just gonna go around a little bit around the side of this container, which will look funny at first, but eventually it'll grow in and it'll be fine. Throughout, I'm gonna kind of check and make sure all of them have roots. Sometimes some of them don't take. These look to be a little longer, so I'll like nestle these down in. It smells like fish food a little bit. Gross. So first, why haven't I been as consistent? If some of you may have noticed, some of my loyal followers may have noticed, oh, damage it? No. That I haven't been posting as often as I would like to or usually do. And the reason for that is I recently got a new job. I got a new real life job, non-YouTube-y job, which has been taking up quite a bit of my time, as jobs typically do. I was a director of training for a fast food company prior, and now I am the director of training for a coffee company. So that is new for me. This one also didn't really seem to take. See, the roots are kind of really small on this one, so I might like plant this towards the top. I've never worked in coffee before. I remember when I was like 17 or 18. Hold on. I remember when I was like 17 or 18, I had a friend who got a job at Starbucks and he just raved about how cool it was. It was the first Starbucks in our area. Back east, we're Dunkin' Donuts people. It was the first Starbucks in our area, and like learning venti and grande, it just seemed really cool. But I never really pursued that because typically coffee companies want you to have a lot of coffee experience prior to joining. So it was a little unachievable for me at the time. So brand new job, you kind of have to put in a little extra, at least right now I feel like I do, because we're kind of behind in certain areas. I came in to, I have somebody on my team and he had just been out for COVID, so he was behind on projects, has some rollouts coming up, so I'm trying to just, you know, wrangle all that, get caught up to speed, as well as learn not only a whole new brand, but a whole industry. Because coffee and food, while there's a lot of carryover, it is very different. So it's been a bit of a challenge, if I'm being honest with you, but I'm up for a challenge. A good friend of mine, Sarah from Savage Disney Pins, as some of you may know, she's a good friend of mine. She worked in coffee for many, many years and had great things to say about it. So she also kind of helped nudge me in there, which is funny. Not funny, but which helped. She's like, no, coffee's really cool. Like once you get the hang of it, you're gonna love it. Her and I have a lot of similarities when it comes to like our interests, so I feel like she understands kind of me. And she's right. The more I learn, I think it's really cool. It's almost like beer and wine. It's a lot like working with beer and wine, but non-alcoholic. So getting towards the end of these cuttings here. Ooh, these ones look kind of stuck. So as you can see, maybe these are kind of stuck in there. This might be a little tricky. Yeah, so that's why I've been a little inconsistent. I've found it challenging to get home late. Plus, as some of you may know, with my previous job, it was primarily remote. So basically I could just finish work and start filming right away, or finish work, start editing right away. Where now, even though the office I'm working at is fairly close, it still does like that commute time. I gotta get up a little earlier. I gotta get ready for the day, where, you know, when you're remote, you just like roll out of bed, throw on a sweatshirt and get to work. So that's a little different. All right, it's looking pretty good. Let me fill in some of these gaps. And then I basically just try to like hold them in place while I add some leca on top. Try to make sure everything's covered here, no like gaps. So I try to just fill in all the gaps, both fill in the gaps with leaves, and then also any gaps in the leca I see, I try to just kind of sprinkle it in there. And I'll take it out and I'll kind of tamp it down, not tamp it down, but just give it a little bang. Now, ideally the roots are not out of the leca, but honestly, it's probably fine. Right, I'm fairly happy with those results. I can always add more leca later if I find that, you know, there's pieces that are kind of exposed. But I'm pretty happy with that. When I'm just transferring from water, I basically treat them like they're still in water, where like I'll overfill a little bit and allow the roots to kind of settle in, and then I'll kind of back off on the solution to encourage them to, you know, grow down. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's just kind of what I've done. I've had good success. I feel like sometimes, because I only typically water once a week, if I don't put a lot of solution in there, the water will kind of come too low, and then I want the roots at the top to dry out. This is just water and Super Thrive. I just use a little bit in there. Just kind of promotes root growth from my understanding. And I'll just drop it in, making sure I don't pinch any of the leaves in the process. There we go. There's a little finished product, little repotted Brazil. Next up, we have this little Hoya rotundifolia. So you can see has kind of these like square shaped leaves, I guess you could say. They're like rectangular. This was a cutting that I got in a plant swap. It's finally rooted up and ready to be transplanted, whatever. Let's get started on this one. So aside from the job, that's been taking a lot of time. A few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks at this point, my friend Sarah, her and her husband Rocky were down from Oregon. They came down and we spent the day together at Disney. We ended up spending just pretty much one full day together, but that was super fun. It was the first time we had ever met like in person. We've been internet friends for a long time, but this is the first time we actually met up. So that was also really exciting. I didn't really film at all. I took a few pictures, but I took the opportunity just to really spend it with them. We did kind of a split day between California Adventure and Disneyland. This pot's probably a little large for these roots, but that's okay. I'm just gonna kind of let it do its thing, grow a bunch of roots, and then it'll start to put up foliage up top. I did this recently with another plant, my sigillatus. I kind of had a small root ball and I just tossed it in and let it do its thing. And it turned out fine, so I guess worst case scenario, if it starts to die, I can always pull it out or take another cutting or something, but I think it'll be just fine. But that's pretty much it for this one. Easy, good to go. So you can see I just kind of put it down in there, covered it with leca, and then ready to go. Fill this sucker up with water and ready to go. I'm gonna put this one back in its spot over on the shelf over here. Easy enough. The next one's gonna be a bit more difficult because basically what I'm doing is I have this Hoya obovata splash that I've had for some time, and I took a big chunk out of it. As you can see, I cut it. It used to kind of vine all the way up like this. It was just like one long vine. It wasn't really putting out any new growth points. It was just growing from the top and that was it. It was getting kind of hard to manage. So I decided to take some cuttings and then I'm gonna plant them back into this pot here. So to make it kind of more of a full plant. This was my first experience rooting in sphagnum moss. So as you can see here, I did them in sphagnum and it rooted up quite well. You can kind of see all those roots. Didn't know what to expect. I've heard kind of mixed reviews on sphagnum moss. Some people think it's great. Some people are like, it's a pain in the butt. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was gonna be successful, but thankfully it was, because I basically chopped this plant like more than in half. I'm basically gonna take this out, try to recover as much of the leca as possible. I have some fresh here if needed, and then I'm gonna try to stick these in. So let's kind of see how that goes. I'm gonna chat a little bit about how I'm feeling with plants. Because if I'm being honest, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I think some of these started to stick to the inside of the jar. Come on. Cuttings. But yeah, so as I kind of mentioned, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed with my collection. I don't have a ton of plants. My girlfriend would disagree. I have like 40 some odd, if I had to guess. Not including like all the cuttings and stuff, just like big plants probably. I have downsized a little bit and then also moved some outside. Oh, there we go, it's starting to loosen up a little bit. The ones that are outside are actually doing quite well, surprisingly. Here we go. They've been doing quite well, so that helps with the overwhelming feeling. but it's just a lot to manage sometimes, you know. Leca makes it easier because I don't have to worry as much about overwatering typically, or like underwatering. But if I don't stay on like a weekly schedule, like this week I let some of my plants go like a week and a half, and as I was checking some of the reservoirs, they're completely dry, which is not good because it can really damage your plant. Would not recommend. I did get rid of Pothos Enjoy that I had taken cuttings and kind of planted up in Leca, and I just kind of neglected it, so I actually just tossed it out a little while ago. I've started to just decide like what kind of plants I really like, and then what plants I just collected to collect, and I'm trying to kind of, you know, really think. The lady who does like organization, she says like if it doesn't spark joy, then basically don't keep it. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what really sparks joy and what is just something I've collected to collect. And I do like Hoya probably the most, so I'm gonna focus a little bit more on my Hoya collection and kind of start to downsize some of my other plants. Oh, this is challenging. Come on here. I kind of breezed over the Disney thing, but yeah, Sarah and Rocky came down. Also, our friend Maricela and her brother came out, which was my first time meeting them. I met them through Sarah, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't film, one, because I've been doing a lot more plant content lately, and two, I just wanted to really enjoy it. But, you know, it kind of leads me to my next piece, is like, where do I want to go with my content? Do I want to do any Disney content at all? Do I want to just do plant content? I mean, there's lots of things I'm interested in. For instance, like camera stuff I'm interested in as well, photography, videography, camera tech. But I know that on YouTube it's challenging to do lots of different things. Really, the algorithm favors people who do one thing versus many different things. So I don't know, like, do I want to continue doing Disney content? I'd love to. The reason I started my channel was, you know, with the intention of doing park vlogs, but then basically as soon as I started, you know, COVID broke out, so I wasn't able to do that. I kind of resorted to like pin content, which is fun, but I haven't been collecting as many pins lately, and I still really enjoy the parks, and you know, now we're Magic key holders, so we go a lot. So I just don't know. I'm a little torn there. Like I mentioned, I would like to do some more like camera tech stuff, but I have a couple videos I've filmed that I just never published because I was like, I mean, it doesn't really fit into what I do. Like, what is my channel gonna be? Like plants, Disney, and cameras. Like, that's just kind of really a wide spectrum. I really enjoy the Disney friends I've made. I love going to the parks. It's so much fun, but I just don't know that my audience would want to watch plant stuff, Disney stuff, and maybe some camera stuff. So the reason I started this channel was mostly just for like a creative outlet. I wanted to like hone my video editing and making skills and kind of have like a low pressure way to do that. But I think everybody who's on YouTube wants to grow to some extent. I'd be kind of lying to say that I didn't, you know, I wanted to just stay small forever. It'd be great to be able to grow the channel and get more new friends on YouTube, whether it be, you know, other YouTubers or friends I've met through the comments. Like there's people I've met just from posting videos, like Steve is an example. Yeah, I have killed that. Like we chat all the time, and we probably would not have had I not started this channel. But I don't know that people would want to watch both types of content or multiple types of content. I'm not sure. So maybe leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about that situation? Is it silly to try to post different types of content, or does it really matter? This isn't my full-time job, so it's not like I'm relying on revenue or something, so I can kind of do what I want, but I don't know that people watching would want to see both types. So maybe let me know in the comments down below. Be honest about it. I'm not gonna hurt my feelings. If you're like, nah bro, I'm just here for plants, so be it. Or my thought is like, I'll build a community of people that just want to watch me regardless of what I'm doing, but that might be kind of a pipe dream, I'm not sure. I've also thought like maybe I'll start a second channel where it's like just Disney stuff on one channel and then more plant and lifestyle stuff on the other. But I find it hard enough to like keep up a schedule on just one channel. I can't even imagine having two. So I just feel like that's kind of out of the question. I'd like to think it's kind of like Field of Dreams, like if you build it, they will come, like if you make it, they will watch. But I don't know if that's realistic. There we go. Looks all right. And I didn't really have to use much extra Leca. I do have a few really loyal subscribers that pretty much watch regardless, and I'd love to build more of that. All right, well, this one's complete. I'm happy with how this turned out. Looks a lot bushier now, so I'm hoping that these kind of take off on their own. We got lots of new growth points instead of just kind of that one vine, so that's the goal. Last plant today is this adansonii, which there's already, oh man, it went right up my sleeve. Last up is this adansonii, which already has some like dead and dying leaves, so I don't know if this thing's gonna survive. I'd love to salvage this plant, but it's not really working with me here. Anyhow, the last topic today is partnering with my sister. She's really kind of leading it, but we've started an app. It's called Dog Friends. It is an app, a social media app for dogs and their owners. And we hope to launch in like March-ish time. So like Q1, end of Q1, maybe early Q2. Basically, the goal is that you can match with other dogs that share a similar play style. We are gonna look to roll out features where you can search for like dog-friendly businesses. Eventually, you'll be able to book appointments from maybe like a dog trainer, maybe like a vet triage service right through the app. So that's kind of the ultimate goal. We are in the investing phase, so we are actively looking for investors. So if you or anyone you know wants to get in on the Dog Friends mania, let me know. You can email me or just shoot me a message. But yeah, we're super excited. She's really spearheading the project. She has now gone full-time Dog Friends, 100%. So quit her full-time job. We're all founders, basically. It's my sister, myself, and her husband. We're working with this great app developer who's been, you know, a wealth of knowledge when it comes to best practices and helping us get kind of our vision into the system. So that's another reason why I've been a little absent, because that takes up time as well. My sister and her husband adopted a dog. Her name's Hazel. She's kind of our mascot, but she is rambunctious. So Michaela was having a hard time finding like playmates for her. And it gets awkward when you want to like you don't want to like give out your like Instagram handle or your cell phone to like some rando at the dog park. So the idea is that this can help facilitate that. Like, hey, are you on Dog Friends? Maybe we just connect there, and then you know, you can kind of chat there. We're just kind of starting to announce it now, but it's been in the works since, gosh, a few months now. I don't remember exactly how long. We have lots of interest from potential investors already. We already have some investors, and we're looking for more. So like I said, if you or anyone you know would want to get in on the ground level, holler at your boy, and we'll see what we can make happen. It's Dog Friends, DOGFRENS.com. If you want to sign up for like some updates, we can kind of get your email in. We'll notify you when we're starting to get ready to launch. There we go. Oh, a little messy. Hopefully this grows a little better. We'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have going on in my world, friends. So that explains why I've been not as consistent as I'd like to be. Lots of stuff going on here. I'm not trying to make excuses by any means, but I'm just trying to share why maybe I've been not as engaged as I'd like to be or have been in the past. Well, friends, that's all we got today. That's all we got on this little Repot with me kind of life update, what's been going on in my universe, sharing with all of you. What did you think about the Dog Friends idea? I don't know if I have talked about it on the channel yet, so I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Let me know, would you sign up when we're ready to go? Do you want to become a beta tester? Just kind of let me know in the comments and we can work out getting you all signed up. What about the mixed content? Is that something you'd be into? Would you watch different types of content on the channel, or do you want just plants or just Disney or just tech or all of the above, none of the above? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. If you like the video, hit the like button. It really helps out the channel, lets new people find the channel, lets people know you like the video. Subscribe with the notifications on, hit that little notification bell. That way you get alerted every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.